Assalamualaikum and good day to Dr. Aisha and everyone who attends the class. We are from Group Jainism and we're going to present the common grounds, the ethical fundamentals, and what it shared with other religions. And the members of this group are myself, Mazaya Dia. There is also Siti Zuhaira, Muhammad Fahrul Haris, Dominic Jam, and also Nurdiana. Next slide. So we are going to talk about 10 ethical fundamentals, which will be presented by all of our members. The first two will be presented by myself. Next slide. First is the fundamental ethics of karma. So in Jainism, there is a concept of karma, and it is a concept that is important in a range of Vedic religions, such as Hinduism and also Buddhism. In Jainism, karma is a law of cause and effect, where the saying goes, what you sow, so shall you reap. So it is also the root cause of birth and death. So the good deeds and bad deeds that one committed will determine this rebirth cycle. Next, in Buddhism, the Dhammapada verse 16 and 17 also mention that good deeds bring happiness, while evil action leads to torment. And in Buddhism, it also will determine the rebirth cycle. And then in Hinduism, in Bradarankaya Upanishad, it also says that one becomes good through good deeds and also evil through evil deeds. And just like Jainism and Buddhism, this will influence the rebirth lives. So we can take this concept of karma and apply it to environmental ethics in the sense to save the planet from ultimate ecological destruction. If someone takes his or her time to think about the consequences of their actions, they will be able to make wiser and also more sustainable choices, whether it is in the terms of consumption or also production, just like LCA or the life cycle assessment. Next slide. The second ethical fundamental is to limit of consumables and non-consumables in Jainism. In Jainism, it is called Bogo Paga Parimana, which is to limit of consumables and non-consumables or use of resources. So Jains must limit their use of things and resources to what they need. It shared the same concept in Islam and also Sikhism. So Quran Surah Al-Isra mentioned that we should not spend wastefully, because surely the wasteful are like brothers to the devils, and the devil is ever ungrateful to his lords. And in Islam, we are thought to avoid extremes, temperate in conduct or expression. In Sikhism, the religion teaches people to apply the rule of moderation to everything in life, and it includes the use of earth resources for the benefit of humankind, and all life of moderation in which we shun all that harms the body or the mind. So this ethical fundamental reflects the ecological destruction due to overconsumption. For example, is the problem with food waste and also fast fashion and also many others. So by implementing this ethical fundamental, it is hoped that we can make more responsible consumption and also production patterns. Next.
All right, thank you, Mazaya. So the next ethical fundamental for Jainism is non-violence. So there is one of belief in Jainism, which is ahimsa. It means non-violence or no injury. So it is the only way to safeguard one's own soul is to protect the soul of others. It's believed that avoid hurting living beings such as animals by being vegetarian, and all living beings must assist one another. However, violence can be used if it is intent for self-defense. So in this religion, it shows that Jainism demanding their followers to do good to the living thing in surrounding. It's same to Buddhism. One of the principle is abstinence from killing. Is meant to respect for the lives of others. So everyone will respect each other's life and interest, so that the world will be a better place. It shows that this religion told his followers to take care of the welfare of everything around, such as animal, plants, human, and nature. In Islam, Quran Surah Al-Hajj, it says to him belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth. It means God lends everything in the world to humans. So we need to take care of this environment, because we only use it temporarily in the world and will be questioned later. And the next ethical fundamental is non-possession. In Jainism, one of the belief in that religion is aparigraha. It means non-possession or non-greediness. So Jainism realized that when a person is more focused on the world, he is more likely to commit sins. So the nation of aparigraha is to restrict possessions to only what is absolutely essential. Personal extravagance and extreme affluence should be avoided in this religion, and thus we can reduce the poaching activity to make luxury goods. So to relate with environment, we can say that Jainism strongly discourage its adherents from being extravagant, because it can threatening other life. Why in Baha'i, This religion believes that the mastery of science and technology may bring disaster. Without religion, it will turn it into a weapon of war and cause environmental destruction. This means that humans will easily contribute to the destruction of the earth as technology evolves. In Taoism, one of the belief is Tao, is mean the great way of nature is not selfish. So in Taoism, satisfaction is more towards selfless devotion as well as caring for the welfare of other human beings. It shows that Taoism teaches its believers to take care of the welfare of other living beings so that the environment is secure. Next, I will pass to the next presenter.
Thank you, Zahira. So the next is about truthfulness. So in Jainism, it's called as Satya. This will requires total truthfulness, not only by not telling lies, but always speaking the truth. So in a social aspect, the truthfulness in a business or a merchant, for example, should not cover up defect when describing for item sales, but in context of the environment, it involves truthfulness to avoidance of violence in any form through word or deed, not only to human being but also to all nature. It means it refers to life that every form of life, including plant and animal. So practice in the principle of compassion for all living beings. It's called Jiva Daya in Jainism. Is one of the terms that they use for to referring the truthfulness in the environment. And Jains also vegetarians. So for Islam, it teach that truthfulness is far more than having an honest tongue. In Islam, also truthfulness is conformative of the author with the inner and action with the intention, the speech with the belief, and the practice with the preaching. So regarding to the environment, Islam cares about the environment created by God, which human beings are mandate to maintain nature properly. So this involving the truthfulness and responsibility Islam people. So for the next one is the Hinduism. Hinduism, word that serve no purpose do not constitute a truth. Mean in speech, they must be beneficial and at the same time can give happiness. So it's called truthfulness in Hinduism. So for environment, for the Hindu, the universe is God body. So if harm another person or animal or plant, it's the same as harm God cosmic body. So truthfulness in Hinduism is important to always protect nature as well as protect their God also. So for the next one is about chastity. So for chastity, it's called as brahmacharya in Jainism. So so chastity basically is they need to must have sex only with husband and wife. So regarding to the environment, both gender need to taking care of nature. This also include in chastity heart as a human being towards the nature. And for Islam, is chastity leads the human being to abandon the sins and to draw close to the most high God, and it makes the conduct of human to being dedicated to the obey. So what is the obey is we need to responsible of taking care of our surrounding and responsible about living and non-living creature. And also in Islam also it says that keeping the environment clean is essential in Islam. And then for Buddhism, Buddhists believe that people need to live simply and respect the cycle and balance in nature so everything can continue for future generation. So they also have a term that denotes the endeavor by monk and nuns, as well as endeavor that say moral life as way as to end suffering and reach enlightenment. So what is the meaning for this? I can give example here, which is lay followers are asked not to kill any living being. Therefore, Buddhism also put the element of taking care of the nature by the chastity itself. So I will pass to the next presenter.
So the next fundamental ethic for Jainism is non-stealing. So in Jainism, Non-stealing, we call it asetia. The practice of asetia demand each individual must not steal, have intent to steal another property through action, speech, and thoughts. Must not. Second, it must not steal, cheat. For example, avoid from paying tax. So an example is don't animals that are extinct in the reserve forest. For in Islam, in Surah Al-Ma'idah, it's mentioned the thief, the male and the female, amputates their hand in recompense for what they committed as a deterrence, punishment from Allah, and Allah is exalted in might and wise. So in Hinduism, the practice of asteya demands that one must not steal, nor have intent to steal another property through action. Speech, stop stealing will bring us to bad retribution. It's same as Jainism. So next. So for the next fundamental ethic for Jainism is avoidance of pointless sins. So in Jainism, avoidance of violent sins, call it anatta dandra prata. Example, thinking or speaking badly of other people, being inconsiderate, and not just to people, being self-indulgent and reading, watching, or listening to immoral materials. So in Islam, Hadith and Nawawi, it mentions part of the perfection of one Islam is his living, that which does not concern him. Second, avoid suspicions as much as possible, for suspicion in some cases is a sin, and spy not on each other, nor speak ill of each other behind their backs. So in Confucianism, it says one must always follow the principle of Li and able to give respect and propriety. Second, Li embodies the entire spectrum of interaction with humans, nature, and even material objects. So that's all for me. I will pass to next presenter.
And the next fundamental ethic is meditation. In Jainism, meditation called as smaik prata. This means that this vow encourages household to meditate at least 48 minutes in one sitting to concentration on religious activity. The purpose, this is important to avoid all sinful activities in daily life. For example, pray for welfare of well-being in the universe and include immobile living being of the earth, air, fire, water, and vegetation. And this will make people aware about the importance of protect the nature. And for the Buddhism, meditation is essential in Buddhism. And the Buddha taught that planting and nurturing trees are virtuous act. That means protect the nature. We will show their characteristic as a Buddhism, and planting a tree will prevent the environmental issue. And for the Hinduism very near to the nature. That means they worship of God in air, water, fire, sun, moon, star, and earth. This is because they believe there is soul in animal and plant. That means they will take care the nature as they take care of their God. Next slide. The last fundamental ethic is limited area of activity. For Jainism, it called as Dikvrata. That means this for limiting the area of activities, like limit the area of traveling. The purpose of limited area of activity is to limit the sins to be committed, and then putting the limitation to one movement at the prominent ocean, mountain, river, and trees. This will reduce the harm to the environment. This is because the visitor in the traveling area will be reduced, and this will reduce the footprint in the nature. And for Hinduism, They're limiting the activity like deforestation or harm to the nature. That means Hinduism respect the nature. This is because Hinduism believe in divine nature of the universe and human, animals, and plant along with everything else in the nature. They also have concept of non-violence, which is not hurting any living being. For Buddhism, the monk teach that the forest is the ecosystem protected. That means they will limit their activity like agriculture or deforestation to protect the nature so that the nature always be protected. That's all.
So for all religions, the common ground in Jainism, there is a correlation with other religions. So in order to live sustainably, we can also take a look at other religions' fundamental ethics so that we can learn that not only environment stems from science, but also from religion. That will be all from our group. Thank you so much for listening.